You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey, Days of Our Lives fans. Today, we're going to talk about Bo Brady's upcoming return storyline that's going to have him deeply involved with his Kiriakis kinfolk, including his new baby brother, according to our leaker. It's Belinda from Soap Dirt, and before we dive into what happens when Bo and Hope Brady return to Salem, please click that subscribe button. All right, last we saw Bo Brady, his fingers twitched as Hope was talking to him about the death of her father, Doug Williams. And then Hope came back to Salem alone, but briefly, to see her dad laid to rest, and then she rushed back to Bo's side, hoping that he was going to wake up soon. And if for some reason you don't recall what happened to Bo, I'm going to catch you up real quick. His own son, Shawn Brady, shot him when he thought Bo was going to shoot his mom, Hope. And that was because when Bo came out of cold storage after being presumed dead for a long time, he wasn't quite right in the head. Peter Reckell's character was presumed dead in 2015 when Bo collapsed in the park and drew his last breath in his beloved Hope's arms. But come to find out, in 2022, thanks to a little rewrite of history, Bo had been in cryogenic stasis in crazy Megan Hathaway's lab for 7 long years. And of course, Stefano's diabolical daughter Megan was also supposedly dead. They woke up Bo on Days of Our Lives Beyond Salem Chapter 2, and that carried over to 2023 on the main Days series, with the soap promoting this big Hope and Bo reunion. And it was actually quite misleading, the promos and everything that said we were going to get them back as a couple, because they never got back together as a couple until the last moment before he was shot, when threatening Hope at gunpoint. I think that was the moment he said fancy face, and then bang. Bo was very confused after the years. He was kept frozen in a giant test tube. And then when Megan woke him up, then she did a bunch of brainwashing to try and get him to do what she wanted. And Bo was aggressive, and he was obsessed with his biological father, Xander Kiriakis. And that led him onto this kind of crazy misadventure that wound up on the old family property in Greece. That's where Bo threatened Fancy Face, and Shawn shot him. Since then, Bo has been comatose. But this year, we are finally getting that Hope and Bo reunion and storyline that we were promised a couple of years ago. And there is a Kiriakis twist coming that plays out in Hope's return with Bo as they get a multi-month return arc, according to the leak that I was given. So Hope is back for John Black's funeral in June, and we're also getting back Bo in the not too distant future. He's going to be in a storyline, according to my leaker, that features the brother he never knew he had, Xander Kiriakis, and also Alex Kiriakis in the mix. And our leaker tells us that Gwen Rizczech is going to be part of it, as well as Vivian Alamain, who feels like she is entitled to a chunk of Kiriakis cash. So our leaker says Gwen gets involved with Vivian in this scheme that has Bo aligning with his Kiriakis family to stop them. And if you wonder how Gwen might wind up knowing Vivian, well, I bet the overlap is Alamania, given that Gwen was married to Dimitri von Leuschner. So if you don't remember your deep days history, the Alamains and the von Leuschners are related by marriage through Carly Manning and Lawrence Alamain. And if you remember, when Gwen found out her husband Dimitri was cheating on her with her best friend Leo Stark, she left town seeking revenge and was heading for her in-laws. That was when Emily O'Brien exited as Gwen and stepped into the recast role of Teresa Donovan. And now, with O'Brien returning in coming months as Gwen, we're going to find out what happened when she went looking to get her hands on the von Leuschner fortune. So according to our leaker, Gwen is back with newfound power and money and is conspiring with Vivian. So the Alamania link probably explains how Gwen and Vivian got to know each other to cook up something. We've also heard that Gwen would be the one driving the plot because Louise Sorel would have less screen time as Vivian due to some kind of conflict, some kind of lesser availability. Anyway, in addition to Xander and his wife Sarah reportedly being in this plot to fight off the wicked women, we're going to have Alex and Brady Black and the returning Bo Brady, and we have heard that Philip Kiriakis is in the mix as well. But first, Xander is going to rage at Philip for the fraud when Vivian rats out her surrogate son. And then we're counting down the time until we get Kristian Alfonso and Peter Reckell back to Days of Our Lives as Hope and Bo Brady. I don't know about you guys, but I cannot wait to see a real and proper storyline for Hope and Bo where they are back together as a couple and having an adventure. So we've also heard that part of the plot with Xander, Bo, Brady, and Alex and the other Kiriakis family members is going to be partially set in Alamania. But of course, Days can't afford location shoots, so it's going to be green screen and stock footage that are going to show us a view of the small fictional European nation. This week, we see some of the early moments of this drama as Vivian heads over to see Xander. Vivian demanded Kate and Philip kill Xander so Philip would own Titan alone and could give half of it to her. But Vivian's threats didn't go that well with Philip. He refused to kill his brother and offered her a pittance compared to the payday she wanted. So this week, Vivian is in Xander's office over at DiMera, and she drops the bombshell that the document Philip used in court was forged. And already Vivian threatened to blab, but Philip said, "You won't do it because you'll go back to prison." However, she's thinking several moves ahead, and I think she's going to blame the forgery on either Philip or Kate because everybody knows that Xander and Kate don't like each other. And Vivian would love to see Kate in Statesville prison because she's the one who called the cops on Vivian and got her sent back there on a parole violation while Kate and Philip did the whole forgery thing and got half of what Victor left to Xander. So once Vivian tells Xander he's going to confront Philip, it's all going to get really messy. And by the time that Bo Brady is back on the scene, the Kiriakis family is deep into drama, and Xander is probably going to be declared the sole heir by then as Victor's only child mentioned in the will. But there's other kids. You know, Bo Brady is the oldest of Victor's. Oldest daughter, Isabella, died in 92, and then Philip is next, and then Xander. So to see all of Victor's surviving children reunited and on an adventure should be really, really exciting. And to be clear, it is confirmed that Bo and Hope Brady are coming back, but the details of that have not been officially confirmed by Peacock, and what's been leaked to us is still unconfirmed, but our leaker has a pretty good track record, so wait and see how it goes.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.